Hello everybody, this is Guy from the Cardfight Bros, and today I'm going to be doing a Grey Nature deck profile. And this is probably my second favorite competitive deck right now, so let's get right into it. For the starter, I run Pencil Koala. I found that it's the most consistent pressure starter. That's what I like about it. If you put it behind the Vanguard, once he starts striding, you can boost the Vanguard attack, and if they let it hit, then you get to choose one of your rear guards, give it 4k, and then at the end of the turn, destroy it and retire it. Retire it and draw a card, sorry. It works better for my specific build, because my specific build doesn't really focus too much on retiring. It mainly focuses on just giving power. So cards like Blackboard Parrot aren't going to help my deck as much. So that's why I run that. My main card of the deck is Famous Professor Big Belly. He's the Break Stride. His Break Stride skill is very good, in my opinion. Its skill is Combat 1. When your unit strides, you get to choose up to 2 of your rear guards, and they get 4k each. And then the skill, when an attack by a unit in the same column as this unit hits a Vanguard, if the attack is 20,000 or more, you get to draw a card. What's nice about that is that you can give the 4,000 to either the attacker or the booster, and you still get to draw if it hits, and if it's over 20,000. It synergizes really well with Managarmr, the main stride. His GB2 skill is, it's not like anything fantastic, but it's alright. I've used it a couple times. It's GB2. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you get to choose one of your rear guards. It gets 4,000 until the end of turn, and then you get to draw a card and retire it at the end of turn. So it's not too bad. It's pretty standard for a lot of Great Nature bosses. For our secondary grade 3, we run Contradictory Instructor Tuskmaster. He's pretty good on rear guard. He's similar to Cran Tiger. Cran Tiger might be a little bit better because you get to draw, but with him, he's 11k. So, and you don't have to boost this guy. So, just so you know, if you don't know his or Cran Tiger's effect, it's Combat 1. When he attacks Vanguard, you get to choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, and it gets 4,000 until the end of the turn, and then at the end of the turn, retire it. It gets pretty insane when you have a really high column over here, and you get triggers and you put them in there, and you get 4Ks and you put them there, and then you can attack with that. And then you can attack with Tuskmaster on this side, especially with crits. They can be quite devastating to your opponent. Alright, for grade 2s we run 4 Cran Tiger. This is in my opinion, is the best Amber clone in the whole game. I mean, it's insanely good. So, GB1, once per turn, Combat 1. When this unit attacks Vanguard, if it's boosted, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, it gets 4,000 power until the end of the turn. And then at the end of the turn, you get to draw a card and retire that unit. It's just, you give power, and then it replaces, and then you have to retire it, and then you get to draw a card too. On the final turn with Managarmr, if you have 2 of these, it's insanely powerful. There's so many options with this card. Alright, second grade 2 we run is Malicious Saber. I run 4 of him because of the power, basically. 1 4k on him is 16k. That speaks volumes. I mean, he doesn't even need a booster, and then they still need 10k to guard. It also really improves your Managarmr turn if you don't have 2 Cran Tigers or Tuskmaster. He's a really nice substitute just because of the power increase. Our last grade 2 is Capable Assistant Guru Wolf. So his skill is, when his attack hits a Vanguard, if it's power is 20,000 or greater, you get to draw a card. He's mainly for early game, especially because he doesn't have a GB1 restriction. You can put him out early, and if you have a 7k behind him, or even, yeah, you're even a 6k, and you get a trigger, you can just put it on him, and then it's pressure. And the draw is nice early game to get your rear guards out. It's not a bad card. Before I was thinking about running Set Squire Penguin, but it didn't really work with the playstyle, my playstyle, and the overall build because of how rarely you actually retire. And when you do want to retire, you would probably want to retire front row rear guard, and if you have Cran Tiger on this side, you don't want to retire him. You're gonna have to retire the rear guard on this side, which would be Set Squire Penguin, so he can't choose himself. So that was happening to me a lot, where I couldn't even use his skill. So I took him out for Giger Wolf, and it's been working a lot better. So grade 1s, we run 4 Contradictory Instructor Shellmaster. He's the G perfect card. Unflipping is really important in this deck because Big Belly Counterblast, Cran Tiger Counterblast, Tuskmaster Counterblast, Managarmr Counterblast, everything. A lot of your important cards counterblast, so it's good to keep them under control. Then we run 4 Mini Belly. The Strider. He's really good for... You need 4 of him because your other grade 3s don't really do that well on their own. Striding every turn. Every turn you can is the most ideal situation in this deck. So these are a necessity. And it's good if you only have Tuskmaster, you can just call him to rear guard and then show Tuskmaster, reveal it, and then you can get Big Belly to your hand because Big Belly is pretty crucial too. Next, I run 4 Mohican Hyena. He's a 6k, so early game he wouldn't be the best, but once you start striding, once you start giving 4k to your rear guards, the power just increases by so much. Especially this lane is especially good. Mainly for your Managarmr turn, or even any turn you stride really, because if you use Big Belly skill you can draw if it hits, so the more power the better. And then at Managarmr they can't guard, so I mean they can't guard with grade 1s or higher, so they're gonna need a lot of guard. And I run 1 8k just for basically for the same reason as Mohican. He's better early game though. Riding him is pretty nice, I guess. Calling him early. And then I run 1 Taping Cat. He's the Soul Blast 2 when he's placed on rear guard, draw card. I just run 1 because you're only gonna have 2 soul in this deck, and I just really like this card, so it's a nice little Tekken. You can run 2 AKs if you want, but I wouldn't run 2 Taping Cat because if you get both of them, they're kind of a waste. But if you want to, go for it. Alright, for triggers, we run 4 heal, 8 crit. Ruler Chameleon is probably not the best crit to run, just in case you need to call one. The 3k kind of hurts, and like I said, I don't retire a whole lot, and I won't never retire this, so. And you need the counterblast for other things. So yeah, I would probably run a 5k crit, and then 4 draws. I don't run stands because they kind of prevent you from utilizing a lot of your abilities, mainly the stride abilities. It just mainly like Wisdom Teller and Phoenix, however you say that, if you want to use those, because they're when this attacks. So it's if you only have one lane, if you're not doing so great, which happens quite often on the first stride or two, then you don't want to have to attack with a column and then attack with your Vanguard, because if they let the Vanguard hit, then it's kind of wasted for Wisdom Teller. So that's my personal preference, and crits are always nice, in my opinion, especially with triple drive. Get triple crit and win. Alright, so for our stride units, I run 4 Wisdom Teller Dragon. His skill is, when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards until the end of turn. It gets 4,000 power, and when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if this unit power is 20,000 or more, you get to draw a card. I was really glad when this came out in the Fighters Collection, because this was really what Great Nature was missing. Phoenix Cleox was pretty much a vanilla in my playstyle anyway, for this certain deck. And that had to be your first stride because we didn't have anything else. But Wisdom Teller Dragon is fantastic. It applies more pressure. If you have Wisdom Teller and then this Pencil Koala in the back, if this hits, you're drawing a lot. That's all I can tell you. So then I'm running 2 Managarmr. I mean, I should run 4. You should run 4 probably, but I find 2 to be alright. So his skill is Act. Once per turn, Karma 1, and then you Persona Unflip. And then if the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, choose up to 2 of your rear guards, and until the end of the turn, they get 4,000 power. And the skill, when this unit attacks Vanguard, if this unit's power is 20,000 or greater, until the end of battle, your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater cards to guard circle from their hand. So this is really the final turn push. It's a fantastic card. You're looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 attacks that can't be guarded by grade 1s or higher, and their powers are just going to be exponential, basically, because every time they restand with Grand Tiger, they just get more power. It synergizes so well with Big Belly and the whole rest of the deck right now. You can win like surprisingly easy with this card. Say they have, I mean, I won when they had like 6 cards in their hand and they just can't guard because the power is too much and they just have too many grade 1s or higher. And it surprised me. It surprises me often just how powerful it is. So then I run 1 Phoenix. Basically, I've never used it, but you know, it's possible that a certain scenario could arise that you would need it. And I don't have the 2 other Managarmrs, so he's fine. I've never stritten 5 times in this deck, or I think I have, but I won, so I've never stritten 6 times in this deck. So, yep, it's not too much of a hindrance. And then I run 1 Blizza. It's essentially just in case Managarmr fails, which is possible. I'm only running 2, so it's possible that it doesn't work or I don't win on that turn. But then by that time, you just hope they don't have a perfect guard, and then you can play that. And if you want, you can unflip this and swing for a lot and hope that you can win off of it. So alright, that's the deck profile. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment down below and I'll be able to take a look at them and answer them as best as I can. Alright, see everyone, have a nice day.